Thank you so much for being here. My name is Melissa Chung-Mowat. I'm the NDP candidate for Winnipeg North, and I'm here right now on Treaty 1 territory, the original lands of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and the homeland of the Métis Nation. I'm the NDP candidate for Winnipeg North, and it's my pleasure to be here today. The crisis of profit in long-term care has been felt hard. It has hit deeply here in our community, especially in Winnipeg North. The crisis, for example, in Maple's long-term care home, folks here in our community will remember that night in November well, when the news broke about the crisis, about the elders who were being cared for in that care home, when paramedics showed up and folks were dying. Lots of people in our community in Winnipeg North work in long-term care home. They support seniors. They have family in long-term care. And this has revealed how deep our crisis is. Our seniors and the folks working in long-term care deserve so much more. That night, the company came forward and lied to us about who was there caring. They said that they had enough staff, and we know that to not be true. One of the reasons I'm running alongside Jagmeet and the NDP is because I want to fight for our seniors. I want better for our community. We need to fight for long-term care. We need to end profit in long-term care. And we need to, make sure that direct care hours and better quality services are there for everyone in our community. Sadly, over the last 6 years, the Liberals haven't done anything to improve this situation or take profit out of long-term care. In fact, it's been made worse. Justin Trudeau wants to look like he cares. He says the right things, but when it comes to helping our seniors, our elders, he's working for the wealthy and for insiders. Over the last 6 years, he could have taken real action. He could have fought against for-profit, but he didn't. People voted for the Liberals expecting that they would care for people vulnerable in our community, especially for elders and seniors, and because people wanted a better life for their loved ones, and he didn't follow through. I'm so happy to be here standing alongside Jagmeet Singh and the NDP, because the NDP is different. Jagmeet has shown what it means to send New Democrats to Ottawa. If we want different results, we need to make different choices. Jagmeet is focused on getting results for Canadians. He's listening to families, we're listening to families, and we're fighting for seniors and elders. And you know what? New Democrats are winning results, getting help to people faster. So it's my pleasure to introduce Jagmeet Singh, the leader of the federal NDP. Thank you so much, Jagmeet.
Melissa, thank you. Thank you for your powerful words. And I know that the people of Winnipeg North would be so well served with an MP like you, Melissa, in Ottawa, fighting for people, raising their voices. So I'm so excited that you're on the team, and thank you so much for your really powerful words. And Melissa, what you outlined is exactly what we want to talk about today. And I'm coming to you today from the traditional territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations. And what we saw in this pandemic, the way the pandemic impacted our loved ones and our seniors is a national shame. We knew for a long time that there was a crisis brewing in long-term care and in personal care. And that long-term crisis that was brewing was brought to the fore in the pandemic when our seniors and our loved ones in long-term care bore the brunt of this pandemic. It was heartbreaking to see the horrible conditions that our seniors were being cared in. And what was particularly pernicious and hurtful was when we saw that the worst conditions of care were happening in the for-profit long-term care homes, which is not a surprise because in for-profit long-term care, profit came before caring for people. Profit came before the care of our seniors. And in Winnipeg North and in Manitoba, it is so heartbreaking to think about the horrible tragedy at the Maple personal care homes. What happened there was something that should never have happened, could have been avoided, and it is why we are committed to fighting to make sure this never happens again. And just for us to take a moment to reflect on how horrible this is, I want to thank Larry Bailey, who's here, who's going to share his story. Larry, I know this is difficult to do, and I want to thank you. Your story and your experience will remind folks of what happened, because so many people were in the same shoes where they were worried about their loved ones, they're worried about their family, and they lost their family. And your story, Larry, is gonna speak to the story of far too many people in our country. So Larry, thanks so much for being here. And please, if you could share your story, we could hear what you went through, what your family went through.
Thanks, Jagmeet. My dad, Glenn Bailey, was a proud policeman, scouter, role model for countless young adults, and district governor of 5360 for Rotary, a business owner of Spoken Edge ski and bike shops, and Happy Bear gift shops in Banff and Canmore. If you ever rented skis from the Spoken Edge ski and bike shop in the 80s, you would have met my dad with a smile that lit up the room and a voice like a foghorn. Gee, I see I got something from Dad. My dad and other residents must never be seen as a commodity for shareholders. There is no room for profit healthcare in Canada. My friend and neighbor lost his mother at Orchard Villa, the deadliest outbreak in Ontario. Orchard Villa is where I grew up in Toronto. My dad was at Manitoba.
We're just gonna try again. I think we might have lost Larry. We'll come back to Larry once his feed
Need
recovers.
a national inquiry so Canada can learn from the past to grow in the future. What worked, what didn't. My dad always taught me, be part of the solution. I believe I am nonpartisan, yet the only party to call and listen to me is the NDP. Jagmeet, that's a shame. For-profit companies operate nationally with individual provincial agreements, what appears to be different standards for different provinces. Jagmeet, this makes absolutely no sense. We need a national standard for long-term care facilities now, and we need to know why this happened so it never happens again. Thank you.
Larry, thank you so much for sharing your story, and I'm really sorry for the loss of your dad. You definitely carry on the tradition of having that loud foghorn voice, and you're doing your father's memory really proud to remember him, and to remind folks that loss can be prevented, and we can do something now to make sure that never happens again. Thank you so much for sharing your voice, and we are absolutely committed to doing exactly that. While Justin Trudeau continues to delay and never deliver on his commitment around national standards, and really took a stand against getting profit out of long-term care. The Maple Care Home is one of the homes operated by Revera, the second largest provider of long-term care in Canada, and it is completely owned by a federal agency. It needs to be public. So what we can do about this is stop just talking about how horrible this is and commit to real action. While Justin Trudeau, again, wants to say a lot of things for show, we are committed to real action. We need to get profit out of long-term care, make sure long-term care is rolled into our public system so people get the highest quality care that they deserve and need. We need to make sure that we have national standards that lay out the best practices for how we can best care for our loved ones and our seniors in long-term care. We can do this, and we can do this together. New Democrats are committed to it. We are committed in the memory of all those seniors and loved ones that we lost, that in their memory, we need to make sure that we get this right, that this never happens again. And to do that, we've got to commit to getting profit out of long-term care, national standards, and putting the care and support of our loved ones and seniors first and foremost. That's what we'll do. That's what New Democrats would do. And that's what you get when you vote for Melissa in Winnipeg North. That's what you get when you get New Democrats across Canada, people who care about you and your families and who are committed to protecting you and your families. Thank you so much again, Larry. Thank you so much, Melissa. And with that, we're ready to take any questions that you might have. So I turn this over now to Melanie, who's going to manage the next portion. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jagmeet. We're ready to take any questions. If you have a question, please use the raise your hand function. Si vous avez une question, s'il vous plaît, utilisez la fonction lever la main. This concludes our press conference. Thank you. Merci.
Thanks so much. And again, big shout out to Melissa. Thank you for being a part of the team. Thanks for being here. And Larry, thanks again for sharing your story. It means a lot. Thank you.